All right, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, need to check my microphone. Make sure it's okay. I have no idea if a mic sounds good or not. Check it out. Testing 1, 2. Seems fine. Okay, so like I was saying, we're continuing our playthrough. I'm playing as a Pyromancer Psyker. I want to be very clear about something, which I think I have to do at the start of every session that I do. This is not indicative of an actual proper playthrough. In terms of getting your skills, in terms of getting equipment, in terms of getting reputation, navigator insights, all these things are not indicative of a proper playthrough. I have using mods to give me an unfair advantage because I just want to play through with all of you guys who want to watch and do as best as I can to voice act as much as I can for lines that are missing, well, voices. And several parts of the game there are dialogues which have no voice whatsoever, and I'm going to try and do my best to substitute those lack of voices with my own. So this is basically like me just performing for you guys to enjoy. Hopefully you enjoy. And yeah, so this is part 3. Let's what do we say? Let's jump in, shall we? When we last left off, we had just gone through Rykad. Oh, actually, before I do any of this, I need to check my quests. That's fine. Fine. Okay, cool. Alright. Ooh, actually, do it. We don't need rumors yet, right? Oh. Yep, that's fine. Where would I find the winter scale fucker? Would he be in the Sector Bionica? You should, right?
They will see.
I guess not.
Yes, they all will see.
Oh! Permission to report, Lord Captain. Members of a sacred cult operating aboard the ship have requested an audience. They wish to present gifts and introduce themselves to their new captain. I'm ready to receive them. Now we get the bloodspin, the web of the bloodspinners. Whatever they're called. Blade dancers. Basically we get Kibella, who's fucking awesome by the way. She's overpowered as hell. Those on the deck watch in awe as a final figure moves gracefully to the ceremonial pose. Some of the officers whisper in excitement, while others murmur prayers to the god Emperor.
The Undying Emperor commanded us to spin a web of blood around his children, and we obeyed. We obey still.
They fall silent as a tall young woman steps forward. She moves towards you soundlessly, the dim light casting shadows across the mask which conceals her face. The masked cultist repeats the words in a mournful whisper. We obey still.
Domin von Valancius, death has whispered your name. We disown Domin Theodora. We renounce our oath to her.
The woman's slender finger has been fitted with a metal claw. She points it in your direction, gazes at you from behind her bone mask with cold, grim eyes of an assassin. She pulls out a sinister curved blade, and similar weapons suddenly appear in the hands of her motionless companions.
And now we give the gift of our blood to you. It is the gift of death. Death has whispered your name. The followers of the tenets of the web swear fealty to their new overlord and offer proof of their devotion.
Their blades sing through the air and rivulets of crimson flow on the deck. The young woman bows her head reverently as she hands you a heavy parcel. The others bow their heads as well. They seem unconcerned by the blood that trickles down their fingers.
We give you a blade, the silent verdict. The Undying One has chosen you to wield this instrument of death. We give you one of our own, Kibella. She will be your shield and shadow. And we give you the blood of these traitors. The tenets of the web will purify their souls.
And a new sword. Which I will immediately... Oh, it's a two-handed weapon. Oh, okay. Cool. You have heard many stories about death cults such as this one. These devoted, holy assassins of the Imperium have turned death into a form of worship of the Emperor. They are exemplary slayers, invisible executioners, and the scourge of traitors, heretics, and fallen souls. Many righteous people honor them as votaries of faith, while others see their fearsome rituals as frenzied spectacles touched by madness. Examine the cultists. The cultists are all voidborn. Their lithe, sinewy bodies are clad in light armor, which allows them to move with an acrobat's nimble grace and strike with an assassin's swift surety. Their red and black vestments are adorned with sharp spikes and ritual jewelry. Where time and training have worn their garments threadbare, you can make out patterns of bleeding lacerations. Examine the captives. The prisoners cower beneath the weight of your gaze. Blood drips down the tear-stained face of the captured officers, technomats, and workers. A word has been carved into each of their foreheads with meticulous precision. Traitor, heretic, apostate, renegade. The cuts have been diligently and regularly reopened to prevent healing.
These renegades committed treachery against their domin. Their lips once praised the name of Kunrad Voigtveer, but it is your name they will whisper as they cross over to the other side.
Interesting. So a death cult watches over my crew. They who honor the Emperor through killing, who devote their every deed to serving him. Sacred executioners.
The Domin has discerned our essence. This is a great honor for the blood-spun web. We have woven the bays of this ship together with the threads of our faith for many years. We keep the greatest relic, his tarot, through which he sends us his blessed revelations. We obey the whispers of the Undying One. This is our service to him. This is our service to you.
Your heart is filled with awe as you gaze at the cultists. You recognize this feeling. You have experienced it before when you walked through the scorching flame and survived. The eyes of your grim guests burn with bright sacrificial fervor. They serve the God Emperor with wholehearted faith and devotion. What does a cult of the Bloodspun Web do?
The tenets of the web teach us to read the threads of the future and understand the hearts of others. When a soul is filled with the poison of corruption, we know its time has come. We bring liberation. 3 strikes, 3 rebukes, 1 blade. This is how we serve the Undying One. This is how we serve you and your flagship. But there are others, the virtuous martyrs who contravene his design without realizing it. Those who have come too close to faltering or committing an apostasy, but have not erred yet. We present such souls to the Undying One.
You kill innocent people?
We do not desire their death. We do not seek them out in the darkness. They come to us, and we usher them from this life if his sacred tarot reveals that the Emperor wishes to accept these martyrs.
You mentioned the tenets of the web. What are they?
Our laws and teachings, our philosophy and way of life, our art of combat and spiritual dogma. The tenets are the blood-spun web itself. Humanity owes its existence to the Undying Emperor's sacrifice. It is he who protects us from a darkness of terrors. Hence, each of us has a duty to serve him, and a duty to die for him. To act otherwise is to waste the life that has been given to us by the Undying One, to become a thief. We help others understand this. We help them to live and die righteously.
Instead of helping those who may soon stumble, you offer them death?
We follow his design. We claim those marked by his omens. We submit to his will. How could it be otherwise?
I find that acceptable. Tell me about yourself, Kibella. Are you the leader of the Bloodspun Web, or its herald, or its servant?
I am the second spinner of the Bloodspun Web. The honor of this title is bestowed only upon those who have ushered more souls than... It is shameful to speak of one's own deeds. I'm here to become your shadow, not to make boasts.
And, why have you brought this rabble to the upper decks?
So you may offer the souls of these traitors as a gift to him. You have the authority to order their execution. Their blood will bind us together through him. For the God Emperor, the Undying One, is death itself. The Undying One is duty itself. Give the order, Domin. Let a spinner of the blood-spun web undergo the test of a sacred trial.
The others echo her words from beneath their bone masks. Undergo the test. Go on then.
A dagger that has not sliced through sinew is nothing more than a toy. Let the final dance begin.
Your Emperor won't save you!
That is why Kibella is a badass. The death from above is absolutely insane.
the tenet still. Trust me.
A cut to the heart, a cut to the throat, a cut to the stomach. These wounds have been inflicted according to his pleasure. The blood of the apostates will wash away the stain of their treachery, so that their souls may prostrate themselves before the Undying One's throne and beg his forgiveness. Cabela wipes the blood from her blade in one swift movement. I have acted with reverence and shown proof of my loyalty. Will you accept me, Domin Nero? Will you make me your shield and shadow? Oh, your lordship, the spinners of the Bloodspun Web were watching, tracking, and killing Von Valence's enemies long before the warrant of trade passed to Lady Theodora. However, their blade has also been known to cut short the lives of highly upstanding persons. The factotum swallows nervously, casting a fleeting glance at Cabela. But I certainly do not in any way condemn the deeds of the deeply esteemed cult. I'm sure they must have had a good reason. The Master-at-Arms clears her throat. The cultists are the scourge of the seditious. They bring the unrighteous to ruin. The enforcers respect the Bloodspun Web. We share a common goal, to bring his light and his harsh justice to the darkest depths of this ship. Scourge of the seditious or not, folk are afraid of them for a reason. A couple of watches ago, these spinners took a train driver to pieces for some kind of ritual. I don't know what old Malak did to earn that privilege, though. And who's going to feed his family now? Hendrik takes a drag on his glow stick, exhaling the thick smoke through his clenched teeth. But that's a lower decker problem. What matters is that the Bloodspun Web serves you faithfully, Lord Captain. My predecessor once delivered a sermon about how the spinners saved this vessel from the servants of the archenemy. The Bloodspun Web paid the price in blood, a river of scarlet that flooded the decks from bridge to bilge. They became the blood of the flagship, the pulse in its veins and the beat of its heart. Their great sacrifice earned them the favor of House von Valancius. Professor, tell me about the spinner's great sacrifice. The vessel was beset by famine, pestilence during a long warp jump. The flagship wandered uncharted paths in the Imperium for 20 cycles straight. Servants of the archenemy used the despairing hearts of the crew to infiltrate the ship, and death followed. The hungry became the hunted, the famished became the feast. The exhausted crew was too weak and emaciated to resist the invaders, but then the spinners emerged from the depths. They stood alone against hundreds of foes, yet they did not falter. They did not sleep or rest as their blade-tipped dance brought death. Though many spinners fell, the Bloodspun Web held strong until the flagship left turmoil of the warp. I wish to hear what my retinue thinks. I have heard, though only at a distance, the prayers of the spinners offer help to him. I have seen how their deeds fill people's hearts with confidence in the inevitability of his wrath. The Bloodspun Web's loyalty to the Emperor is without question, as is their willingness to lay down their lives in the fight against the archenemy. Although Lady Theodora never granted the cult an audience or brought a spinner into her retinue, she respected the Bloodspun Web and approved of its mission. It is strange. Their shadowy forms are swathed in darkness, yet a radiant light burns with them like a scarlet flame. I think it's a good sign. It's rare to see anyone filled with such light, even among the servants of faith. You will be my shadow, Cabela. Cabela's movements are slow, almost rhythmic as she removes the ceremonial mask. The dark shadows of her eyes accentuate the deathly pallor of her skin, which is covered in ritual scars. Henceforth I am your shadow, Domin Nero, von Valancius, an instrument of death placed in your hand by the Undying One, for so it was ordained, and so his tarot forspoke. The young woman bows her head once more. I also come bearing an invitation from the Vizier of the Bloodspun Web. He wishes you to know that the doors to the Undying One's temples are open to you. Are you suggesting Lord Captain should go down to the depths of his flagship and search for this temple? With all due respect, the lower decks are for servants and crew. They're not fitting place for his lordship. Forspoke, what do you mean? What tarot? The greatest, most sacred relic of the Bloodspun Web, the Emperor's tarot. Only his chosen servants may earn permission to rain blood upon the cards and perform a reading to see portents of the future, shadows of the past, or tangles of the present. However, the secrets of his tarot are not for the ears of laypeople to hear. I cannot tell you more. Not here, not now. And who is the Vizier? He is the first among us. The Vizier has spun the web of fate for fivefold longer than I have lived. Blood of the flagship's blood, my mentor and teacher. And why is the Vizier not here to deliver the message himself? The first spinner is old. His abode is in the temple beneath the flagship's freight line. He has not left the lower decks in decades. Even a short journey could sunder the spirit from his ancient body. Where is your temple located? I am not permitted to say. If you wish to find the temple, you must walk the path of Saint Ariane, the matriarch spider. Hers was the thread that would become the blood-spun web. Her path began deep within the flagship, in the dark tunnels of the freight line. That is where yours must begin as well. This journey will bring you closer to the thread of the web, closer to the undying one, closer to understanding death. I will walk the footsteps of the matriarch spider. Your journey will begin in the darkness of the deepest tunnels. The Vizier awaits you. The cultists retreat in the shadows as Kibela sheathes her ceremonial dagger. Your blade awaits direction, Dominero. You will speak again when the time is right.
Domin.
I would like to know more about the sacred mysteries of the death cult. I would like to know more about the sacred mysteries of the death cult.
The Vizier taught us that there are many like us throughout the Imperium who spill blood in his name. Death cultists, as they call us. He said that no two death cults are the same, just as there are no two identical stars in the void. I will tell you about the blood-spun web, but I cannot speak on behalf of all death cults.
What is the cult's purpose?
The blood-spun web holds the bays of the flagship together with the threads of its faith. Such is our service to the Domini of the Von Valancius line. The Undying One commanded the Domini to embark on a ship and sail the void's expanse. And thus, it became our duty to protect your dynasty and the Ark that became its home. This great relic of blood and adamantine. Some loathe and fear us. They call us murderers and reapers. Others call us dancers of death, who send the souls of the dead on their way. Both are right. Both are wrong. We are servants of the undying Emperor. When he whispers that the time has come for a righteous martyr's soul to be laid in his blessed hands, we come to claim it. When he whispers that the wicked must know of his wrath, we come to reap. This is how we maintain order on the ship, unseen and guided by death's will.
How do you know if you've never made a mistake? How can you be sure that you have never wrongly robbed one of your victims of their life?
We are carried along by a current of blood in the great river of fate. Life is not given or taken away by chance. If I see an enemy of humanity, my blade will sever the thread of their existence. I will not wait for a sign of his divine bidding. I am his will, and I do what must be done.
You share a whisper in your mind telling you to kill someone and you obey. Have you ever considered that these whispers could be a deception orchestrated by the minions of the archenemy?
Death's whisper is unmistakable. It is not like the murmur of stars or the hiss of corruption. It is truthful, pure, unyielding. Only the most eminent of us, the High Spinners, can hear the whisper of the Undying One and give voice to his will. They must hone their senses and temper their body and soul for years before his call can reach them. If it puts you more at ease, you can think of these whispers as his providence.
Let us speak about something else. Tibella stares at you intently, perhaps too intently. She says nothing. How long has the Bloodspin Web been in existence?
Spinners carved the chronicles of our history on the stones of our temple long ago. But fate and time have erased our past, just as an exploding star erases a part of the galaxy from existence.
What are the responsibilities of the Vizier?
It is the Vizier's duty to watch over the flock, to lead those who want to learn more of the Undying One, but are fearful of death, and guide those who seek answers in death, but do not know how to live. The Vizier protects all, those who do not know we exist, those who are grateful for our service, and even those who hate us. The Vizier sees what is to come, remembers the past, and accepts the present. They spin a web of faith and blood so strong that no enemy may sunder it. This is the Vizier's burden. This is the legacy of the Matriarch Spider.
Who was the Matriarch Spider?
It is said that she was one of many, born in the void, the Domin's subject. She honored death instead of life, and for this, she was persecuted. It is said that when the arch-enemy's forces invaded the flagship during a warp jump, she gathered the Undying One's servants around her and saved the ship from ruin. Together, they spun the first threads of the web to ensure that such devastation would never happen again. It is said that she was strong and indomitable, but as the years passed, her heart became as stone, and thus the Undying One whispered her name to the one who would become the first Vizier of the blood-spun web.
Why do you call yourselves spinners?
Through blood, sweat, tears, and the strength of their convictions, the servants of the Undying One spin the souls of your subjects into threads of balance. This is why we refer to ourselves as spinners. Those who are newly committed to the blood-spun web are called lesser spinners. If they are faithful in their service to him, they may eventually become spinners. The most devout of us all are known as the High Spinners, of whom there are 7, each bearing a unique title. The Vizier, the first spinner, leads the cult. I, Kibella, am the second spinner. The third spinner's name is Io, and there are 4 more.
You see, the God Emperor is dead. There are some who might find the comparison blasphemous.
The Undying One is death itself. We serve him, and thus we serve death. This is not a comparison, attribution, or preference. It is the truth, and nothing can change it.
Can you teach me to follow the tenets of the Bloodspun Web?
The tenets are knowledge, an art that is passed down from one generation of the blood-spun web to the next. Even so, there are spinners who will never fully comprehend this knowledge in the time allotted to them by the Undying One. The tenets dictate how one follows the thread of life, but they are also the thread itself, from first breath to last. The tenets cannot be taught, they must be lived. Only then will you understand.
You satisfy my curiosity for now. Tell me about yourself.
I am the second spinner of the blood-spun web. A spear in the hand of the Undying Emperor. I am your shield and shadow. Your blade.
How succinct. Do you dislike talking about yourself? A look of curiosity flashes across Cabela's face before it is masked by her usual stoic indifference.
The tenets compel us to let our deeds speak on our behalf. There is no one in the cult who does not know me. So I have grown accustomed to taciturnity in matters regarding myself. Ask, and I will try to give you an answer that will satisfy your thirst for knowledge.
Tell me about your past.
I remember nothing of my childhood. The Vizier says this is because of my training and the injuries I received in battle. He told me it is the fate of all high spinners. The only memories I have are of the blood-spun web and the brothers and sisters who serve the cult alongside me.
What was it like growing up in the cult? What do you remember?
When we were young, we would sew our eyes shut and wander through the bays for months at a time. Starving, surviving, dying. This trial of darkness honed the senses of those who passed it. We were elated, for we knew we were blessed by him. When we grew older, we learned to wield our weapons, and our mentors tested us with pain, poison, and the weight of deceitful words. In time, our bodies no longer felt pain. Our blood became resistant to toxins, and our focus could not be shaken. We were at peace, for we had shed everything that could encumber our faithful service to him. When we came of age, we faced a great trial. A year-long vigil spent in unceasing prayer to the Undying One. When hunger and other base sensations faded away, we attained true comprehension of ourselves and our place in the world. Our place between life and death. We were proud, for on that day, he truly accepted us, and we accepted him.
It must have been difficult to go through all that as a child.
It is impossible to understand the value of your body and spirit if you've never experienced physical or emotional pain. Pain is temporary, but experience endures. Experience can be sharpened like a blade and turned into mastery. I've never regretted walking the thread I was destined to follow.
Your parents, your family. You never mentioned them.
When we join the cult, we relinquish our past. The blood-spun web becomes our new family. I have seen the pain, terror, and doubt in the eyes of those who hear the Undying One whisper the names of their kin. For some, the blessing of oblivion is a gift not unlike death.
Do you not wish to know what became of your family?
No.
Oh. Cabela is too devoted to the technique that. Cabela is too devoted to the teachings of the web to let her emotions lead her astray. You may not remember your real family, but are you truly so unconcerned by the deaths of your fellow cultists?
It brings me comfort when my brothers and sisters cross to the other side. The Undying One has called them to his side, so they can serve him in ways we cannot.
I presume you have no friends either.
Attachment makes us weak. The weak meet their demise prematurely. But such death does not please the Undying One, for a soul must not be claimed before their time has come. It is true that spinners occasionally cross paths with those outside the cult, but such paths always diverge in the end. We may walk the same road together, but we are nothing more than temporary traveling companions. It is similar for those of your retinue. Our threads may intertwine for a time, but all will go their separate ways, as is inevitable. But not you and I, Domin. Our threads cannot be unwoven, and only the Undying One will end my service to you.
I understand you better now.
Know your enemy and prevail in battle. Know your ally and prevail in war.
Do you truly feel no pain at all?
You can see for yourself.
Cabela removes a small leather pouch from her belt and opens it to reveal several instruments of torture. What are those?
Tools for tempering the flesh. If a spinner neglects this practice for too long, their body will weaken and their sensitivity to pain might return. If it does, they will feel the overwhelming agony of every wound they have ever endured, and go mad with torment before the Undying Emperor whispers their name.
Tormenting yourself almost seems to give you pleasure.
Is it possible to experience pleasure if one feels nothing?
Very well. Let's see how impervious to pain you really are. Drive the long needle into her eye socket.
The purpose of this practice is to fortify the flesh, not to mutilate it.
The needle goes straight between the lid and the eyeball. Cabela reaches out, adjusts your hand as casually as though she was straightening out tableware at dinner. Chop the sharp prongs of steel fork beneath her clavicle.
You have found an interesting use for this tool, yet it still serves its purpose.
Cabela raises an eyebrow as she watches a crimson stain spread across her clothes. You're so skinned with several chain hooks.
The flesh remains untorn. Good.
The black chains dangle from Cabela's body. They look more like a macabre form of adornment than an implement of torture. Cabela gathers up the chains and pulls them until her skin goes taut. It's enough.
Do you have other questions?
Your fighting style is unique. Do you think this is something I can learn?
Your body will fail you, Domin. Your bones will break. Your tendons will snap. Your heart will stop. Our rituals of self-perfection are unending. They demand absolute dedication and decades of special training. However, if you devote the next 30 years of your life to its study, you might be able to learn the basics.
Thank you for sharing with me.
It is not difficult to speak the truth.
You torture your own flesh. What is the meaning of this ritual?
Torture? I bear the sacred marks of the Undying One's service. Death has bestowed them upon me. Though others may cherish hollow riches or meaningless beauty, it is my duty to cherish his gift of blood. Each wound is a symbol of our service to him. Each drop of blood carries his blessing. To renounce these scars is to renounce the Undying One himself. Death whispers to me, "You are worthy of bearing his marks." Tell me, Domin, do you wish to honor your flesh with his gifts?
It would be an honor to bear the mark of the Undying One.
Let it be so. Treasure his gift, Domin. Inscribe it anew each time you pray. May his blessing find you.
Tabella waits patiently as she prepares herself for the ritual. Once you are ready, she carefully presses her blade to your skin and carves the sacred symbol into your flesh with skillful precision. The wounds sting and burn painfully as they begin to bleed. Did you ever meet Theodora von Valancius?
I met her once when I was young. The Vizier saw a serpent hiding among those close to Domin Theodora, ready to sink its fangs into her throat. I was ordered to find the serpent and sever the soul from its body. I watched and waited for weeks. I hid among the shadows, the air ducts and the faceless masses. Once I found the serpent, I sliced off its head and returned to the temple. I doubt that Domin Theodora ever saw me, but the 3 ritual cuts I left behind on the body let her know that this death was pleasing to him. They sent us a grand feast from the upper decks before the cycle's end. We gave it to the hungry.
You always address me as Domin. What does that word mean?
The Gothic we use to communicate is different to that spoken on the upper decks. Domin has many meanings. Giver of life, Lord or Lady of the Ark, and Shadowless Sun. The matriarch Spider gave this title to the rogue trader who allowed her to form the blood-spun web. We use other titles as well. For example, Venai means Master of the IMPERIUM, or Watcher of the Veil. Vil means one who must go to the other side. Amig means one you can trust in battle.
If the Undying One whispers my name, will you carry out his will?
Lords and wretches are equal before death. If such is the Undying One's will, I will guide you to him, Domin.
Tell me about the Emperor's Tarot.
I use blood to read his sacred cards and hear the whisper of the Undying One. His tarot is not an answer, but a question I ask of the universe. And the universe answers with questions of its own. In this sacred communion, I perceive hundreds of possible outcomes. They are all true, and yet they are only visions. I know what will come to pass, and yet I do not.
How did you come to have a deck of his tarot?
It is a holy relic that has been passed down from generation to generation. Only the first and second spinners are allowed to study the sacred cards and interpret their meaning. We use his tarot to guide the cult and discern the tangled threads of fate.
How many cards are in your deck?
34. There used to be more, but some have perished in the darkness of time. Their loss is a great tragedy for the blood-spun web.
The Emperor's Tarot is usually read by sanctioned psychers.
I am the spear of his retribution, not a witch or a sorcerer or a soothsayer. I have no strange powers, but I do bear his blessing. I do not command the veil. I am guided by his whisper and led by my faith, by the tenets. Please, do not mistake me for something I am not.
You occasionally feel a shiver run down your spine or detect faint sparks in the air when you were standing next to Kibella. It seems her powers only manifest when she's practicing divination or in moments of pious exaltation. Kibella herself doesn't seem to be aware of her gift. Can you give me a reading?
Ask the cards, Domin, and I will listen.
Kibella carefully takes out her Imperial Tarot deck. A black blade flashes before your eyes and blood drips from her palm onto the cards. She closes her eyes and listens. What does the future hold for me? Kibella draws 4 cards from the deck and lays them face down before you.
The first card is the young warrior. It suggests inexperience, a path of becoming. The second card is the shattered world inverted. The path will have twists, turns, and thorns, but you will gather allies along the way and find what was lost. The third, the hound inverted. Someone has marked you as their prey and is chasing you through a field of traps. The lost child. You will leap into one of those traps of your own free will and place your trust in someone truly desperate.
No questions at this time. Let us speak about something else. I must take my leave.
May the Undying One shroud your footsteps from the faithless.
Oh boy, okay. Do you know what now? Okay. Oh. Ooh, that could be fun, actually. Okay. All right, before we jump onto Red Card Minors, I'm gonna go have a cigarette. I shall return shortly. Stick around. Alright, and we're back. Rykard Minoris, let's go. I'm not gonna lie to you, this first planet is, I'm not a fan of it at all. Although we do meet Pascal here, and Pascal's cool. But even then. As the ship makes its way through the star system, a strange fatigue falls over you. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the quill you have been used to draw up by yet another order falls from your hand. You raise your head with a start. Someone else is here in your study. You stand up and stare at the dozens and dozens of corpses suddenly surrounding you. Among their number, you recognize the disfigured, bloodied faces of those who died on the ship's bridge and those you met in your previous life. How is this possible? Where are the enforcers posted to stand guard? It matters not. You are alone against a horde of heretics risen from the darkness to take your life. As though of its own accord, the shard lying on the edge of the desk, sole remnant of Kunrad Voidfear's weapon, slips into your hand. The metal is searing cold. The dead sway from side to side, closing in around you in an unimaginably slow advance. Kneel before the Log Trader. Your lives belong to me. All you hear in response is unintelligible voices, whispers, moans, and derisive laughter. Anger ignites your chest and you clutch the shard, which ravenously bites into your palm with its sharp edge. An unbearably bright light floods everything around, and you find yourself surrounded by groveling minions, their bodies shivering in your mere presence. Your hands are no longer hold a pitiful shard, but a majestic, intricate weapon. A skillfully crafted sword with strange, unnerving proportions, a curved design, and an unusual hilt adorned with the image of a closed eye. Your eye opens wide, revealing a gaze so ancient and dark that it steals your breath away. You have felt this gaze before, there on the bridge, and the voice that appears in your mind only confirms your guess. The tapestry is woven. The path is chosen. Accept your fate, champion. Never! Your body refuses to obey your mind. The handle feels as if it's become one with your hands. The gaze of the demonic eye sets your very soul ablaze. Resisting your fate is futile. You scream as you feel your soul burn away to ash. You awaken from the vision, kneeling next to your desk, clothes drenched in sweat, and with a sour taste on your tongue. Your head is ringing, and you struggle to recall those faces and the image of the sword in your hands. Only the deep cut in your palm, the bloody shard laying on the floor, remind you of what just transpired. You would rather die than touch that thing again, so you reach a shaking hand for your vox, call for the servitor. Now you just have to wait for the mindless automaton to arrive, pick up the cursed artifact, and head for the nearest airlock to be claimed by the void. What the fuck? Sorry. Am I not linked? We are, aren't we? This one I was already linked up. The soothing water caresses your senses and your grateful muscles welcome the chance to rest. A pleasant languor spreads throughout your body as you allow yourself a moment of quiet relaxation. You two, get in here. I require company and pleasant conversation. Do you mean us, your lordship? There's no need to be shy. Relax with me for a moment. Orders received, your lordship. We will commence relaxation immediately. The officers are lean and muscular. They sit down awkwardly in the bathtub, clearly fighting the urge to stand at attention. What would you like to talk about, your lordship? We await your orders. You seem tense. Your orders are to enjoy some of this food and amasek. The enforcers are barely able to conceal their excitement as they shove delicious delicacies into their mouths and wash them down with obscenely expensive drinks. They have never experienced anything like this before and likely never will again. It is a feast they will soon not forget. A story they will tell to their grandchildren someday. I wish to be fed. It'll be done, Lord Captain. The woman reverently places slices of exotic fruits and rich-smelling cheeses into your mouth, and the man brings a cup of amasek to your lips to wash it all down. They do everything for you except chew and swallow, but you suspect that if you were to give them the order, they would find a way to do that for you as well. Tell me about yourselves. Do you have any other responsibilities besides guarding these chambers? For hundreds of years, our clan has been responsible for ensuring the rogue trader's safety during times of leisure and relaxation. Excuse me. I guard the bath chamber, just as my grandmother did before me. She trained me herself and instructed me in my duties. This bath chamber can be more dangerous than a battlefield sometimes. You can slip on a wet tile, you can choke and drown. If the water is too hot, you can burn yourself. And if it's too cold, you can freeze. There have even been cases where the angry machine spirits have released sparks of their fury in the water. And of course, there have been numerous assassination attempts, and the woman stops abruptly as the other enforcer loudly clears his throat. It's reassuring to know that my enforcers are prepared for anything. We live to serve, your lordship. We'll keep you safe. What do enforcers do in their free time? When we're off duty, we train, maintain equipment, and pray at regulation-approved intervals. If we do have some time to ourselves, we might place some tentolo and Bran over there carves things out of soap bars. She nods at her partner, though for the most part we better get enough time to rest, let alone for leisure. I demand demonstration, Bran. The enforcer looks slightly flustered, but he quickly gets to work. After a while, he presents you with the bust of the Emperor about half the size of your palm. The Emperor's visage has been recreated with incredible precision and attention to detail. Small carving surpasses the work of many a skilled sculptor. What a curious hobby. Ooh, actually, do I want it? I will have it placed in my study. The enforcer is speechless with amazement. His eyes shine with pride. I am not worthy of such an honor. Thank you, your lordship. You may relax with me here until I am finished bathing. We consider a great honor, your lordship, but please do not tell the Master at Arms we joined in your ablutions. Mr. Saubeck will beat us bloody if she finds out. Relax and close your eyes. The tension slowly retreats as you bring yourself to complete stillness, joint by joint, muscle by muscle, pore by pore. Before long, you have surrendered the bastion of your body to the bliss of oblivion. Troubles, worries, loss, such things do not belong in this newly established dominion of tranquility. There are only the infinite waters of weightlessness, in which, stripped of all things superficial, the mind of Nero von Valencius drifts in silent bliss. It is a conscious mind. What fills this consciousness? The thoughts of those who will keep him afloat to the waters. Who will drown and who will he manage to pull to the surface? The strands of fate are fragile, yet woven together, they are strong. Not everyone is destined to see the voyage through to its end, but no one will be forgotten. This moment of serenity soon fades. The body reclaims the mind, binding it once more to the familiar shell of flesh, sinew, and bone. Which is someone from my retinue? Well, I wish to learn about the tenets of the web. At once. Kimaselli appears by your side. You asked to see me, Dominira. Do you wish to learn more of the cult's rites? Very well. Since you are in the water, I can introduce you to a rare discipline of the blood-spun web known as controlled self-drowning. Few receive this honor, with water being so precious on a ship. Still, it has opened my eyes to many truths. Intriguing. Teach me. Close your eyes and trust me. Reject your fear and remember, you have carried death within you since birth. The ritual is simply a meeting between you and your oldest friend. You close your eyes and hear a quiet splash. Cabela's entered the pool. She puts her hands around your neck and gently pushes you under the water. As your lungs start to burn, she pulls you back up to the surface, allowing you to take a single breath of air before she begins to drown you again. This process repeats several times as she holds you beneath the surface a little longer with each plunge. The fourth descent lasts an eternity, but her hands prevent you from resurfacing. Panic engulfs as your empty lungs burn, your body thrashes stubborn refusal to die. You push your way to the surface and gasp hungrily for air. You are unprepared for the discipline, Dominero. Breathe. Feel the life beating in your veins. Rest. You are alone once more. The Master of Ablutions stands ready, patiently awaiting your command. Finish your ablutions. You feel revitalized. This truly was an experience worthy of a rogue trader. The starboard greets you with a din of ordnance. The smell of explosive tickles your nose. It's difficult to tell through the smoke who's firing at whom. Halt! Weapons to the ground or I'm firing! A man in torn, dirty uniform hobbles towards you from behind chunks of rockreed and crumpled plasteel. His cracked helmet is adorned with a crooked label that reads Saint Malgar. Sergeant Malgar. Alright, so our skies are on lockdown, the rebels are shooting down anything that flies, and you all just happen to land in our rear without a scratch to show for it. And a shuttle like that, where did you get it? Sold from the palace, isn't it? He's visibly awed by the resplendent gold of your transport. Grab him, lads. We got ourselves a rebel landing force. Abelard turns purple. By the holy throne, what is this mess? They're a tough spot, old man. Go easy on them. Abelard enlightened the rabble about the proper manner of greeting the god Emperor's chosen. You stand before Rogue Trader von Valencius, you ignorant worm. Snap to attention this instant and give his lordship a formal report. The mixture of awe and terror, he snaps to attention, raises his freshly cut chin like an exemplary soldier and barks. My mistake, sir. At once. The starport is under control of the governor's wardens. Perimeter command is Sergeant... A frag explosion cuts off the rest of the sergeant's words. Shrapnel flies everywhere with a piercing screech. One of the soldiers falls to the ground, clutching the remains of his forearm that is now adorned with crimson tatters. Blood is pouring out of the stump. The soldier's agony is short-lived. The sergeant curses and hastily says an army prayer for the dead. With a rasping cough, the sergeant turns back to you. Pardon me, sir. Sergeant Lass Malgar reporting. My unit is holding the starport of the governor's orders. How may I serve? What is going on here? Unrest, sir. Armed rebellions in both the capital and the provinces. First the lower levels sparked, then it went up in the spires. They hit the box hubs, arsenals, and the mag train stations. Then Felek tore off his mask. Precisely because he knew about the trouble on Rykard Minoris. He knew that none of our allies could come to our aid. Cassia lets out a sorrowful sigh. You may continue to report, peasant. My unit was here when it all went to Grox's. The tech priest linked to the satellites report sightings of a strange void ship in the system. They were orbiting the star until one of them set course for landing on Rykard Majoris. The governor took out precautionary measures, ordered this increased security at key facilities. Everyone knows that whenever something's not right, you better double the warden details. The alarm was raised and we were sent to secure the starport. It's the only reason we were able to hold it. They are crushing us. The scumbags. It's been a whole turn since the last reinforcements came in. Running low on ammo, every other fighter is wounded. I don't know how bad it is in the streets, but they'll drive us out of here any minute. You're doing fine work, Malgar. And so are your troops. It's people like you that hold the Imperium together. I live to serve. The sergeant's grim voice rings with a martyr's pride. Did you happen to know if a member of the Inquisition has come here? At the word Inquisition, the sergeant's face fills with awe. I don't know, sir. There definitely haven't been any visitors like that on my watch. Might have inquired at the headquarters, your lordship, sir. I'm going to see the governor. If I have a report, sir, as long as the rebels keep shooting their damned anti-aircraft battery, there is absolutely no way to shuttle you to the governor. You would have to be on foot and the streets are dangerous. I have no one to send with you as an escort. I assigned all available troops to accompany esteemed tech priest to the governor. I will voxcast orders to them to wait for you, and I'll inform headquarters. You better send out a convoy to meet you halfway. Meanwhile, we will follow the governor's orders and hold the line here. Idira frowns as her gaze grows distant, but as if she's looking to the sergeant. You're a good soldier, but you have a lot of blood in your hands, both yours and others. You know, the same hand that salutes now might falter in the darkness. Rank, epaulets won't save you from bitterness. Pardon me, my lady, but I can't get my head around these fancy words you're saying. There's plenty of blood, but trust me, I'll fight till my last drop. The sergeant shakes his head in disappointment. If only Sergeant Davian of the Tertium were here. He may have completely lost his marbles, but if I'd let him accompany you, you could have walked all the way to the governor's path without any harm befalling you. Davian of Tertium, who is that? One of ours, a veteran. No idea how you wound up here. The man from Atoma Prime. The other of the galaxy, a silent chap, crazy eyes, but you should see him slay enemies of humanity. There's none like him. Sergeant cast a glance somewhere past the starport. When it started, he went out missing in the street somewhere. Worst news for the rebels, though. He's an absolute beast in close quarters combat. Is the path there dangerous? What exactly awaits me there? The sergeant sighs heavily. All of our roadblocks are gone. The whole place is in rebels' hands. The city is almost lost, so no help will come. We're surrounded by rebels. And watch your steps, sir. The streets are chock full of mines. This remark about mines lodges itself in your memory. More than anything, you will need to watch the ground and not your surroundings. You'd rather risk a shot from a rebel or a jittery soul than experiencing a few handfuls of lethal frag shrapnel resting on top of some 300 grams of explosive Fiseline. What tech priest? An important person from the Adeptus Mechanicus arrived on the last shuttle before they locked down the sky. He kept on asking whether anyone by the name of Amaranth or Amaranth or something like that had recently arrived. Barely answered any of our questions, though. Said he was under no obligation to tell us anything. He demanded to talk to the governor personally. I had to send a quarter of my troops with him to keep trouble at bay. You're a good soldier, Malga. I will say that your heroism is noted. Sergeant blushes slightly. I live to serve. Another explosion interrupts the sergeant's words. With a sigh of relief, he turns to his soldiers and spits out a booming series of commands.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Did you see that? They almost knocked us out of the air. Some bumbling idiot's going to regret that when he's dragged before the Lord Captain for questioning and trial.
I do not take the road.
Using attempt at defiance.
I'll bleed you dry.
My faith strengthens me.
Scared yet?
Hold on.
On it. Ah!
Here we go.
I shall not fail. Death is a blessing. The shadows will see it done.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. Isn't this a job for the
At
serfs?
the ready.
I cannot serve you in this way.
Ah, shit. Damn it.
Out of my way. Let's get to it.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury.
My place is at the fore.
Let's get to it.
Schemes within schemes. A predictable downfall.
Beware the tattered threads of the veil.
Let's make it quick.
I'll do it.
Hold on.
There we go.
What lies beyond?
The young shaggy-haired soldier is pale. Nonetheless, as you approach, he holds his pistol. Hallmark of good discipline. He gives you a somewhat frightened but genuine smile. Thank you, my lord. You're right at the nick of time. I don't know what those babbling creeps wanted with me, but it definitely wasn't any good. Who are you? Lucky Jasper, the government's aide and personal box operator. I was dispatched to the starport on special orders. Young man proclaims, desperately trying to tame his tousled hair. Are you unharmed, soldier? All thanks to you, my lord. Those blind lunatics are all over the city right now. These rebels, damn them, to the void, go around maiming anyone they get their hands on and scorching their eyes. Then they leave poor souls driven mad by their pain to wander the streets babbling nonsense. The command doesn't want anyone to talk about it. What I've heard whispers, and it's not about some nonsense. It's heresy, actual heresy. Because listening to it scrambles your brain. It made one patrolman freeze in his tracks while the blind mob got a hold of him and carried him off to his post. Wow. After who knows where? And what exactly are you doing here on your own? Following Governor Medine's special instructions, namely, he grits his teeth with a pain expression furrowing his brow. Alright. Secret assignment, I can't talk about it. I'm a rogue trader. Why don't I simply order you to tell me everything? It's well within my rights. A rogue trader. After casting a quick glance over your gear, he responds in understanding. Oh, so you must be from House Von Valencia's ship. The Starport's Augur surveillance station reported that it detected your ship entering the system. Then you heaved to send a shuttle to another unidentified ship. Very strange one at that. And that ship has departed. Jasper pauses for a second, then he mumbles, but Augur surveillance station reports are not to be disclosed to third parties. But you already know that, don't you? Alright, you've read rogue trader, tell you everything. So why did they send you to the Starport? I'm supposed to deliver updated vox codes on how I should put it, assess the situation. The planet is a real mess at the moment. The rebels have found their way into the voxnet and are now eavesdropping. This made proper communication impossible. The hallowed electrodynamic Synobium had set out a distress call before it went dark. And who even knows what's happening in this system? There's a riot on Ricardi Philia. The Prism Planetoid, Urak 5 station is silent, although the navigators there have always been a reclusive bunch. I was hoping we'd be lucky enough to run into a pilot or a captain here who could give me an update, but it's hardly a possibility now. The rebels are blasting anything that tries to land out of the sky with their damned cannon. He stops talking, a little too abruptly. There's something you're hiding from me, isn't it? More classified secrets? There's nothing classified, just personal. Another reason why I'm here, my betrothed is missing, Rakul Vakari, the esteemed Yvain Winterscale's personal pilot. When the riot reports came from Ricardi Philia, Lord Yvain headed there personally. This rebellion started down here. No communication. No one knows how they're doing up there. You know what I'm afraid of? They'll come back and those rebels come back, will shoot them out of the sky. I want to find a place that's high up, set a Voxcaster there, send them a transmission, the sky is closed off, don't try to land. But I didn't make it in time. Those blind dogs chased after me. And I was running, I tripped and broke the caster. I worry for her. She's an excellent pilot, but I still worry. Avdar shakes his head disapprovingly, but his eyes are understanding. That is why all members of a Voidship clan share the same employment. No matter how devoted a servant of the Emperor is to their duty, there's always danger that the family ties might disrupt regulations and order. Worry not. Your Raquel is alive. I met her on Ricardi Philia. Really? That's marvelous. May the God Emperor protect you for 1,000 years and 1,000 more for bringing me such good news. He beams in elation. I'll name my firstborn after you, I swear. In fact, I'll name all my children after you. I'm looking for an interrogator of the Inquisition who may have arrived on this planet. Have you heard of anyone matching that description? Jasper's face quickly turns gray as he says, I have. But I don't know where he is now. I'm sorry. I don't like discussing the affairs of the Inquisition. Do you think the governor can handle the rebellion? Jasper mumbles evasively. Obviously, I'm not some pessimist to say otherwise. I won't tell anyone. You really won't? Well then, if you ask me, things were pretty rotten. His words came flying out at a rate of stubble fire. Those rebels are strange. We would have easily quelled a normal riot. We're not some commoners, we're Ricardians. The naval elite of House Winterscale. But these people, they're vicious. They know no fear. And their attacks, they're so precise. It's like they know what's going on to happen ahead of time. The command executed 7 officers on suspicion of espionage, but it's not about spying. They say the leader of the rebels is some two-faced Aurora who can see to the future. Now she is the real danger. Adira scoffs and rubs her hands together in excitement. She can see to the future, is that right? We'll see about that. She's up against the wrong psyker. My breezy whispers may be vague, but they have not failed me once. I can tell you without asking my ethereal friends that our future doesn't look too bright now that Lord Captain is involved. I have no more questions. A pleasure to be of service to you, my lord. It's nice to chat to someone normal. He glances warily at the body of the nearest blinded lunatic. I must take my leave. You're right, we shouldn't stay here too long when I run into rebels. I'll go find a safe place to watch the sky for landing vessels. May the Emperor protect you, my lord. Oh, wait a second. Or you want backdraft?
One step at a time amidst the madness. Oh, glorious spectacle of your demise.
Are you ready to die? Let's get to it. Show me what you've got.
Get
me.
to the heretics! Follow my lead. Die!
As a tenant. Let not the righteous fear. May their blades be sharp. This goes against the tenets, as honor ordains.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Momentum.
Right. None of you are Death Worlders.
There will be no peace in my wake. A tantalizing anomaly. How intriguing. There, done. Applaud my brilliance.
Change is coming. The edge is nigh.
The blinded ones are harmless. No sense in shooting them and drawing attention.
Fire on the nearest target! Don't kill the tech priest! We need to take him alive!
Find it.
May knowledge be thy fate. Let the cycle be discontinued.
The man dressed in crimson should not have survived an explosion like that. However, he is alive. You hear the wheezing and respirator that covers half of his face.
Not another step.
A shriek comes from the folds of the partially smoldering crimson raiment. It is Binatic speech, the sacred language of the Epis Mechanicus. The Binatic with him transforms into a boxing-sized voice that sounds like thunder rolling over a vast plain.
Flee, for I am death.
His gaunt head rises to stop. Immediately your box howls in pain, and your machine equipment starts crackling. The Deck Priest's blazing power axe disgorges a cloud of righteous sparks, and his visor glows menacingly blue and green.
By the throat! What is that servant of the Omnissiah made of? Adamantine? Ah, placid.
Abla clutches his head and his ocular implant is racked with the wave of interference. Abla has no time to lose your composure. Present me.
Rogue trader Von Valancius greets you, honored tech priest, and graciously grants you permission to remain in his presence.
I identify you as a member of a high stratum belonging to Rogue Trader House Von Valancius. I am detecting no need for confrontation. The convoy received an order to meet you. It is no longer functional. Therefore, I propose that we continue to advance to the rendezvous point with the governor's soldiers.
Deck Priest stares resolutely forward, his mechadendrite tentacles rising gracefully around his hunched figure, which is illuminated by the flames of the smoldering remains of the machine. How did you manage to kill off a slew of people and blow up a sacred machine without laying a finger on it?
This was my doing.
Deck Priest turns around and stares aghast at the burning remains as if he had nothing to do with what just happened. His vox produces a mournful prayer.
Their voices are being weird about him. They're saying garbled, conflicting things. Like they're talking about completely different people. But he's not a threat to you. Even if that's a bit hard to believe after all their fireworks.
You don't even know how you caused such an explosion?
The Omnissiah granted me a revelation. The spirit of this machine was dying, but it wished to perform a service, for such was its design. I sensed this and appealed to it. I do not know how I did it. I merely followed my intuition. The understanding granted by the Omnissiah was not permanent. It has left me.
Deck Priest appears shaken.
How strange it is to hear such words from one who is not of the blood-spun web. We have much in common.
I identify as Magus Pascal Haneman of the priesthood of
Haneman.
By the grace of the Omnissiah, I am currently assigned to the maintenance personnel of the station Altar Templum Calixis X-17.
Altar Templum Calixis. I have heard the name before. The station appears on House Orcelio's star charts in the Furibunda system, not far from the Void Colony of Footfall. You have traveled a long way to come here, esteemed Magos.
Why do you wish to see the governor?
I came here to carry out a sacred mission. My mentor, Archmagus Amonat, summoned me, and I hastened to answer his call. But the rabble's unrest prevented our meeting, and I was on my way to Governor Medina to determine my mentor's current location. My escort was ordered by their commander to discontinue their movement and await to be merged with your group. Then, due to their incompetence, they let themselves be killed. It was an unacceptable complication to my task.
Deck Priest's voice carried any compassion for the dead. Dry words that crackled from his vox system did not convey a shred of it. Was you quite devoted to your mentor to be willing to wade into the mess for him?
Messiah gives me the algorithm for redemption and triumphant service, I will be redeemed, and I will triumph.
And where'd you want me to rescue you?
Acknowledged. Predicting successful and mutually beneficial cooperation.
Jesus. Okay.
Patience! My nerves are frayed!
Outdated and suboptimal. Your body has suffered deterioration and requires modification.
Funnily enough, I've grown rather attached to the old thing.
War is my muse. A genius at work.
A young man, Planetary Guard uniform salutes you. Your Lordship, Private Camille Regius, ready to escort you to the command center for your meeting with the governor. I'm glad to say that the convoy sent to meet you was ambushed and took critical losses in heavy fighting against the rebels. In other words, I'm the only survivor. However, the rebel force is destroyed as well. Instead of the command center. The success to failure ratio of combat operative objective completion for this world's military speaks of its subpar efficiency. I will advise the local ruler to seek fraternity's aid in upgrading their troops to servitor mandibles. Your uniform looks odd on you, soldier, as if it belongs to someone else. Apologies, Your Lordship. The soldier draws himself up and adjusts his gear. It's a new uniform. The guards are in a difficult situation right now, so often we get issued whatever's left, and it isn't always the right size. Mud is full of mud, soldier. Hiding behind the beaming hues of faith and loyalty, what is it? Soldier gulps nervously under the stern gaze of Cassius' ruby eyes. Fear, I guess? In times like these, you give in to the weakness, you're done for. And I'm not done with life just yet. How did you make it alive the entire convoy? Blah. How did you make it out alive if your entire convoy perished? The Emperor protected me, the soldier replies with confidence. I didn't run, Your Lordship, if that's what you're thinking. I was by my commander's side till the very end. I shot the last rebel from the gang and that attacked us. But alas, the captain succumbed to his wounds and the others had already died. The Emperor rest their souls. What can you tell me about the insurgency? The ungrateful rabble rose in rebellion against the planet's lawful governor, His Lordship Caligos Winterscale, our ruler by the will of the Emperor. They are all heretics deserving of the most terrible death. Order will be restored and guilty will be punished. Enough talking. Into the command center. Yes, Your Lordship. We take this avenue. It leads from a starport right to the command center. It's a short walk.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread. Curiosity sings in my veins. Genius triumphs.
Remains of my squad. On part of the rebellion, they'll be given the last honors they deserve as the soldiers of fallen races battle. The battlefield looks highly suspicious. Half your comrades never even had the chance to draw their weapons. In direction of the shots as well, the attackers knew exactly what path the group would take and how large it would be. The enemy is smart and cunning. Perhaps they were watching us. Too many parts of your story failed to add up. I'm beginning to wonder if you are the traitor. That's why, Your Lordship, I may have got a few things based off from experience. That's why they don't add up. Please, walk to the governor's command center. I must carry out my orders. Once we get there, you can have the intelligence run a check on me if you wish. I'm a loyal soldier, and that's the truth. Do not believe in Lord Captain? Pale green is seeping from his every word, and I know the color of deceit well. I mistook Felix's words, so humble, so full of sweetness, for sincerity and truth. They were poison. In times of war, it's better to execute an innocent than to have more mole in one's ranks. Blast you, scum! Aurora will get you all the same. Aurora and the final dawn!
Another annoyance.
Spare none of them! yet? Time to slaughter someone.
Fate claims another one. What curiosity unveils itself before me?
I'm a member.
I shall not. Come, the other side awaits.
What if? Predictable downfall. What lies beyond? Patience? My nerves are frayed.
Even at the epicenter of an anthracite crimson storm, you, Kibella, radiate an even, silvery glow. For you, physical pain is a mere flicker of sensation. Why is that?
Pain is my teacher, my ritual dagger. It cuts away fears and desires. Like a chisel, it hones the will and reflexes. What reason is there to avoid it? I do not understand.
What an amusing attempt at defiance.
Your Emperor won't save you! Bring ruin! I serve the ruinous powers!
Let's see. A wicked thought. A tantalizing anomaly.
Chaos guides me!
Oh, Jesus.
I am your doom! Crush the evil!
High momentum.
Indeed.
High momentum.
Your doom!
Ooh, that was close.
One step at a time amidst the madness. What is that?
The fury of House Orcelio.
They will see. Oh, yes. They all will see. this tapestry of a world. I am the rogue thread.
Straight across the throes of the heretical insurgency, the Lord Captain accidentally witnessed unholy rite transpired in one of the maintenance rooms of an aqueduct. This abandoned nook turned out to be the heretics' gathering place for performing their grim and profane acts. A large group of rebels froze in impatient anticipation, all staring into the center of the room. No one moved, when the murmurs of hushed voices echoed against metal walls. The rebels were unremarkable in appearance. They were dressed in shabby clothes of abject rabble, spoke in coarse voices and repulsive faces. But what caught the Lord Captain's attention was a look of strange, almost sinister anticipation in their eyes. This was no gathering of loud blasphemers or bored idlers. They only occasionally would exchange brief, unintelligible remarks as they stood frozen in a circle, their gazes turned towards a hulking structure in the center of the room. Bulky power transformers, cogitators, and crates, vox casters took up most of the space. Against their background, the structure in the center stood out oddly, an enormous lens mounted on a stand. It caught the thin sunbeams that made their way through the slits in the ceiling and crossed the half-lit room. Although barely visible behind the closed ranks of inserted rusted barrels with evidently flammable contents had not escaped the Lord Captain Keen's eye, one good shot of those barrels would decimate a number of heretics from Record Minoris. As if commanded by a grim unseen force, the insurgents fell silent at once. In a single movement parted, a thick, sticky silence filled the room. Heretics' gaze were turned towards a metal structure with a lens on top of it. Standing tall in the middle of the circle of melting candles, piles of books and unholy symbols drawn on the floor. The structure flashed, a single sun ray illuminated. A sound of bare feet broke the sinister silence as a man emerged from the deep shadows. Reeling, he entered the circle, collapsed on his knees in front of the enormous lens. Not a second hand passed before many rebel hands gripped the fallen man's shoulders and hair. Remember, comrade, the last sunray you behold will be yours only, shared with no one, your holy final dawn. The bellowed a lone heretic's voice amid the silent crowd. By doing of someone's hands, the lens had turned and focused a ray feasted on the prisoner's eyes. The blinded man's harrowing scream shook the very walls of the place. Consumed by the rite, the rebels had not yet noticed a stranger in their midst. The Lord Captain braced himself, suddenly faltered as if something had stopped him. Dark shadows danced in the Lord Captain's glazed eyes. Ghosts of the past had risen at the sight of the warp atrocity, shackled the rogue trader's will. Breathing heavily, the Lord Captain could rush blindly into the fray as if to escape unseen pursuers.
Another annoyance.
Come to chaos! guides me. Death to non-believers. Death to the weak.
Why I was chosen!
High momentum.
I bring ruin.
Out of my way.
The shadows will...
Chaos guides me. Chaos guides me.
At your beck and call.
The scriptural prophecy.
Schemes within schemes. A wicked thought.
Death to non-believers.
I serve the royal power.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
A tactically sound approach. Victory is imminent.
Really?
What if... Let's see...
Death to the weak! I serve the ruinous powers!
Awake.
The very foul fingerprints are all over this place. A nest of wickedness. The heretics met the only end possible. Death at the hands of faithful servants of the Emperor.
Sewers.
A blood-soaked sunset of gold and crimson burns within your soul. But the rest of your colors have faded to gray.
To serve the undying Emperor, one must excise all that is superfluous. What you see is sacrifice. What you see is duty.
Let's see. Step by step, I lead.
Let's get through it. Show me what you've got. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Rejoice in battle!
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Scared yet? Time to slaughter some.
Lesson learned.
Our ear matters.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Show me what you've got. How'd you like this?
as the tenth. I am your shadow.
Oh, Jesus. These are a boss of this game I haven't even fucking seen yet.
What curiosity unveils itself before me?
I didn't know you could claim that.
Curiosity sings in my veins. Alright, everybody, that's going to be the end of my stream for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys all next time. So, from me to you guys, till then, peace out.